Alright everyone, so welcome back. In this video we are going to start working on the create post component. So let's just jump in. I'm going to go to the create post component and here I am. Now here we have to um, integrate the feature, like if I create a post, then I should be able to store that post in the database and do stuff like that. So let's just jump in. I'm going to come here and we have the name for that. So let's say message is fine, and this is going to be wire um, model dot lazy, and then this is the message. And so as we don't have any button to submit this form or this request, so I'm going to add a button here, and this is going to be like an icon. So I will come here and I'm going to paste the basic button with the styling. Outline is none and border also none. Border radius is 43 pixel and the type is submit. This is going to be submit the form, and then some basic styling, and we have icon that is the send icon, like the send button. So if I refresh the page now, let's see how does that looks like. Yeah, so now we have the submit button. So if we write anything and we submit the form, the data is going to be saved in the database. So, and here we have so first we will work on configuring the text messages or a text like the text messages posting, the text posting and stuff like that. So this is going to be wire model dot lazy, and let's say message. And now if I go to, now we have the submit button with, but this is not a palm yet, so I'm going to consider this a palm. And the way I'm going to do this is the top element I'm going to make it form. So this is going to be like wire submit dot prevent, and we are going to call the method, let's say save post or create post. We will create this method in the component, the PHP class, and here we will end the form. And now I'm going to go to the create post component, and here we are rendering that HTML, and here I'm going to create that function. So function create post, and here we are going to validate that, but we need to create those variables. If you haven't worked with the livewire, what we do is we create like a variables here, and we public variables, and those variables will be available in this component. So and now here we have the wire model and wire submit dot prevent, and this is going to be submit the forms to this method without refreshing the page. And here we have model dot lazy wire model dot, so this is actually like the variable in that component. So I'm going to create that, and everything we have in this variable will be stored in this variable, and we can validate that here and then store that in our database. So that is what we are going to do. So uh, to validate that, I'm going to use this dash validate. Then we have a message, and that is going to be required, and this is a string. And once we validate that, we can create a post. So if I go to post model, here we will have different things, but we have to think about it, like let's say creating post, and here we need the ID, the UUID I mean. So I'm going to do post create, and here UUID that is equal to str colon UUID, and let's import the str at the top. So use str, and after that let's set this comma. We have the user ID, so user ID is going to be in the auth ID, and after that we have the content. So this is going to be like the message itself, So I think I can we can change this to content, because if I go to this, I'm going to change the message to content. Let's change this one as well. And now content is going to be dollar this of content content. And after that we have the likes and comments. These are by default 0 and we don't need that. As post page, this is going to be null, and I think this is by default null as well. So if I go to create post pages, the default, this is nullable, and is group, yeah, these are nullable, so we don't need to pass those, as well as the likes and stuff like that. So I am going to remove that, and we are good to go. I have to import the post model, so now that is imported. Now once we save the post, we will have to create notification, as we have notification model. So we will notify the user about the post, and for now we are going to post the created post directly to the users, but later on we are going to add some validation, like using API to validate the post, and after that we are going to post a post. So we will create the post that the user wants to create. So now let's try that out. Once this is done, we are going to notify the user somehow. So um, we will use like event listeners for that, and like a notification will appear at the top, like your post has been published and something like that. For now, let's just unset the variable. So I'm going to call the unset method and passing $this of content, message content, and we can do that by just like assigning that to empty, but we have the unset method, so we don't have to do that manually. So now I'm going to create a post. The server is running, and I'm going to come here and refresh the page. So if I say hello world and submit it, um, yeah, as you can see, it's empty because of the unset method, which means our data is stored in the database, and we can confirm that from the tinker. So if I do php artisan tinker and calling all the posts, and here we have our post UUID and publish. The status is by default publish, but we have to set this to pending later on for the verification. So now we have our first post. We can work on the notification for the post that is published, like dispatching the notification. So here we are going to dispatch the event. So I'm going to do that like this, and then dispatch browser event, and this is going to be the event name. So let's say alert, and here we will pass the array, and we will have the type and the message. So type is going to be like success, and here we will have the message. So message, and this is going to be your post has been published. Now we will have to change this to something like your post will be published shortly, but for now we are going to publish it directly. So I am going to go to the app .blade.php, and here we have to listen for those events. So, and to do that we are going to use the JavaScript library tester js, something like that. So let's see that tester js, and we have the CDN here, and we can listen for the events. So I'm going to copy this link, come here and import it at the top, and after that we will add event listener. So window.add event listener. Okay, so window.add, why it's not completing auto event listener, and we are going to listen for the alert, and after that we will catch the event, and we will have the method, and we are going to do something like toaster, passing the event dot detail dot type, as well as um, event dot detail dot message here, and then comma event dot detail. You just need to write it down. If we go to the documentation of tester.js, we can find those things. So we have demo. Here the this thing auto completed that for me, but as you can see, we can fire the icons and stuff like that with this. You have to install it and then listen for events, but I'm doing that in the native JavaScript, so that's why I have to do that like this. So if I dot title doesn't exist in empty, and after that comma, and then tester dot options object, and then close button is going to be true, and then progress bar this will be like progress bar, after which the notification will disappear. So let's try that out. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to close this and refresh the page. I'm going to open up the developer tool so that if we have any error in the JavaScript, we will see that right here. Let's zoom it a little. I'm going to go to the console. Here we already got some errors on the feather icons, but we don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to, let's say, hello world 2, and I'm going to submit, and we got an error, toaster is not defined. So dispatch event, so I'm going to create a post, so random post, and I will submit that. We got an error. So I'm going to create some random post again and submit, and this time we did not get any error, but we didn't get any message as well. So okay, so our CSS file is missing, so I'm going to import that as well. That is toaster.min.css file, and I'm going to refresh the page and trying that again. So let's say hello there, this is just a simple post. Yeah, as you can see, we got notification and your post has been published, and it's going to disappear. So now once we have the notification, and we can actually like load that right here, but before we do that, we are going to work on the images upload section. So I will see you in the next one, where we will implement the posting videos and images.